Okay, all of you take out your notebooks. Yesterday we had seen definition of accounting. Now we take up with the terms involved in accounting. And remember, there are going to be almost 30 to 35 terms. I repeat, many terms are to be understood in this chapter. Every day we will be taking up with few terms. So side by side, parallel to chapter 2, decent number of terms of chapter 1 will also get covered. But one term what we have already understood yesterday, we take it up, business transaction, or simply transactions. They are also called transactions, or they are called business transactions. All of you write down its meaning. Exchange of goods and services for goods and services or for money is called transactions. Exchange of goods and services for goods and services or for money is called transactions. As a note, write down, from this note you don't have to write in exams. This is just for understanding. From understanding point of view, all activities taking place in business are called transactions. Okay? Raise your hand who is still writing it. Okay, complete it fast, then I'll take up with the next point. Once again, anyone else who will answer me what is capital? Dev Shah, unmute yourself. Dev Shah.
An investment made by an owner to commence the business is called capital.
Commence, not commerce. Commence means start the business. Okay, and not only starting the business, even while running the business, if you bring any amount in the business from your house, whatever are the personal things which you bring into the business is called capital. Okay, so capital is any amount brought by the owner. Capital is any amount brought by the owner in the business. You may bring cash, you may bring your house furniture. Suppose you start a new business and you feel that one table and chair lying at your house, you can bring that in the business. No need to buy the table and chair. So if that table and chair of house you bring in the business, then that is also considered as capital, because you are investing that money in your business. Suppose you bring one old bike of your house into the business and you give that to your employees that you can use this bike. It is my bike, but you can use it for business purpose. Then that bike which you are bringing in the business is also considered as capital. So anything which you bring from your house, okay, anything which owner brings and invests in the business is called capital. Now raise your hand, what is drawings? Okay, these all terms you have seen in yesterday's lecture. First of all, lower your hand so that I can understand who else is raising it now. Now raise your hand, what is drawings? Ria Christian, Unmute yourself. Rian.
Anything which owner withdraws from business.
Anything which owner withdraws. Opposite of capital. Bringing in the business capital, withdrawing from the business is drawings. Okay.
Drawing.
So anything which owner withdraws from the business for his personal use is called drawings. Okay, now tell me this example what we had done yesterday. This example. Do you find owner is bringing any amount in the business? Raise your hand. Do you find in this example owner is bringing any amount in the business? If yes, then which amount? Astha, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what amount is owner bringing in the business? Yes, Astha. You are not audible, Astha. No, you are not audible. Richita. Yes, Richita.
Sir, 15 lakhs.
15 lakhs, correct. This 15 lakhs with which owner started, Hardik started the business of Navkar Saris with rupees 15 lakhs. This 15 lakhs is considered as what? Capital. Thumbs up, did you all understand this? Okay, whatever owner brings in the business as an investment to start the business or even while running the business, if you need the money and you bring from your house, then it is called as capital. Okay, now raise your hands. Can you find any drawings in this example which I gave you yesterday? Do you find any drawings in this example which I gave you yesterday? Raise your hand. What is drawings? Owner withdraws anything from business for his personal use. That is called drawings. So raise your hand. Aman Jaiswal, unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Aman.
Sir, 8th point, Hardik took out sari of 80,000 for his wife.
This is called drawings. Because owner is withdrawing the things from the business for his personal use. So this is called drawings. Okay. Did everyone understand what is capital and drawings? Thumbs up. From this yesterday's example, all of you are clear with what is capital and drawings. So what is capital? Any amount brought by the owner in the business is called capital. And what is drawings? Any amount withdrawn by the owner from the business for his personal use is called drawings. Both are opposite of each other. One thing you are bringing in the business, the other thing you are taking it back from the business. While bringing in the business, capital. Taking it back from business to home, it is called drawings. Home to business, capital, business to home, drawings. Home to business, capital, business to home, drawings. Did you all understand this? Okay. Now, remember this, like capital is like papa, drawings is like mummy. Papa keeps on earning, mummy keeps on spending. So capital is like papa means what? Whatever amount you bring in the business, capital. And mummy keeps on spending, online shopping, etc., etc. Okay, my wife also keeps on doing online shopping. Every day I go home, I find some parcels from Flipkart, Amazon. Thank God I'm working from office only right now, not from home. If she might have been listening, gone. So basically anything you bring in the business, papa keeps on earning, they bring the money home. That is called capital. And anything you withdraw from the business, mummy keeps on spending. That is called drawings. Capital is like papa, drawings is like mummy. Okay? Papa, mummy, capital, drawings. Papa, mummy, capital, drawings. Did you all understand this portion, everyone? Okay? Now raise your hand. In yesterday's lecture of Sagar sir, you have also seen what is assets. Raise your hand. What is asset? Very few people are participating. I hope everyone is watching the lecture keenly. Okay, Archie, tell me what is asset?
Anything which we own, which we have right to use, or which we have right to recover.
Yes, anything which business owns and has monetary value is called asset. Anything which business owns and has monetary value is called asset. So can you tell me in this example, which are the things which business owns and has monetary value? Raise your hand. Which are the things which business owns and has monetary value? Which are the things which business owns and has monetary value? Okay. Kunj Sharma, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Which are the things which business owns and has monetary value?
Third point.
Shop. Business owns the shop. They purchase the shop of rupees 10 lakh and it has monetary value of rupees 10 lakh. So that is an asset. Anything else? Anything else which business owns and has monetary value? Kunj, lot of noise is coming at your background. Kunj, lot of noise is coming in your background.
Yes, sir. Only.
Yes, anything else which business owns and has monetary value? Jay Patel, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what else business owns and has monetary value?
Saris in this case.
Saris. Business owns saris and it has monetary value also. Okay, we have seen in yesterday's example, stock of 7 lakh of saris was left out. This is also asset. Business owns this saris and it has monetary value of rupees 7 lakhs. Okay.
Lakhs.
Now, one more thing we understand in this concepts. Be attentive, everyone. One more term we understand in this assets. Hardik ka gaya? Hardik. Hardik. Shraddha Kapoor. Hardik, unmute yourself. Kiara. Hardik?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Hardik.
Yes, sir.
What is the business you started off?
Saris.
Saris. You started the business of saris. Now all of you understand one more term in this assets. Okay. Divya, you have asked a doubt in chat. I'll be clarifying that. Don't worry. Okay. Divya has asked one doubt. I'll be clarifying that and we are going to discuss it as such. Yes. Whatever business you do into, that commodities in which you do your business is also called goods. The commodities in which you do the business is also called as goods. So goods are a small part of assets. Assets is like bigger umbrella. And in that umbrella, goods is one small part. So goods are also assets. Goods are also a type of asset because they are owned by the business and they have monetary value also. So they are also a type of asset. But what is the meaning of goods? Here, Hardik started the business of saris. So for him, saris is a goods. Okay. If you do business of stationery shop owner, for stationery shop owner, stationery is goods. For stationery shop owner, stationery is goods. Do you understand it, everyone? Okay. For a cloth merchant, clothes are goods. So if you go to this Inorbit Mall, Pantaloons, Vadodara Central, for them, shirts, pants, even saris, even dress materials, all these for that shop is goods because they are doing the business of that item. For a furniture mart owner, furniture is goods. For a car showroom dealer, car is goods. For estate agent, buildings are goods. So in whatever thing you do your business, those commodities in which you deal, they are called as goods. What is goods? Which you purchase again and again, sell again and again. Therefore, in the transaction of definition, what did we say? Exchange of goods and services, for goods and services, or for money. So in accounting terms, what is goods? Goods are those assets. They are also part of assets, but they are those assets or those items in which you do your business. They are those items which you buy and sell again and again. For me, saris is not goods. For Hardik, saris is goods. Do I purchase and sell saris again and again? No. Okay, for me, car is not goods. But for Maruti company, car is goods. Because they buy and sell that again and again. Do you understand this concept? For me, sofa, table is not goods. But for a furniture mart owner, all of you have seen this shop At Home in Vadodara Central, in this Central Square, At Home shop. Okay, they buy and sell furniture, bed, sofa, dining table. For them, those items are goods. But for me, those items are only assets. They are not goods. Because I am buying it only one time, but they are buying and selling it again and again. Thumbs up, did you all understand this? Rian, unmute yourself. Yes, Rian.
Yes, sir.
You raise your hand.
Sorry, sir, by mistake.
Acha, you are clear with the concept of goods, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I repeat it once again. Asset is a broad category, and one type of asset is goods. Under the umbrella of asset, there is goods. What are goods? Those items in which you do your business. Those items which you buy and sell again and again. Got it, everyone? Now, raise your hand. After asset in yesterday's lecture, you also have seen what are liabilities. Raise your hand. What are liabilities? What are liabilities? Neville, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what are liabilities?
Liabilities is anything which can be owned and which have to be paid.
Payable. One word for liability, payable. Any amount payable by the business is called liability. Any amount which we have to pay back in future is called liability. So raise your hand. In this yesterday's transactions, can you identify any liability for the business? In yesterday's transactions, can you identify any liabilities for the business? Raise your hand. Anything or any amount which you have to pay back in future? Any amount which you have to pay back in future? Rajvi, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Hardik borrowed loan of 12 lakh.
Correct. He borrowed loan of 12 lakhs. This is a liability because you have to pay this back in future. This amount you have to pay back in future. So it is called our liability. So any amount payable by the business is called liability. Did you all understand this? All of you? So how many terms we have studied? Okay, here saris are also goods. Here saris are also goods. So many terms we have seen for today. Capital, drawings, asset, in asset, goods and liability. So many terms we have seen today. Anyone who did not understand the meaning of liability, raise your hand. Now we will be writing them over a period of time. Every term we will not write today. 2 more terms I'll explain you today. Then capital and drawings I will make you write today, and remaining items will write in the further lectures. Okay? But how many terms we have seen today? Capital. Raise your hand. What is capital? Dhruv.
Sir, to invest money or a specific thing into business.
You say this way, any amount brought by the owner in the business.
Okay.
Simple language, any amount brought by the owner in the business. Don't worry, I will make you write this definition. Okay, any amount brought by the owner in the business. Any amount means it can be hard cash also, it can be furniture also, it can be goods also, it can be sofa also, TV also. Anything which you bring from your house into the business is called capital. Raise your hand. What is drawings? What is drawings? Yashvi?
Anything which the owner gets in return from the business.
He doesn't get in return, he takes it back home. So use the word withdrawn. Remember one word, withdrawn. Any amount withdrawn by the owner from the business for his personal use is called drawings. Personal use means you are taking it back home. Okay, any amount withdrawn by the owner from business for his personal use is called drawings. Did you all understand these two terms? Now raise your hand. Liability. Liability. Hetvi, unmute yourself.
Sir, amount which is remaining remain to pay to anyone is our liability.
Any amount payable by the business is called liability. A loan was our liability because we will pay it back in future. Raise your hand. Assets. Assets. Richita.
It is something which we own and have the right to use and have the right to recover. It's called assets.
And remember, have monetary value. Any thing or right or item owned by the business which has monetary value is called asset. So you'll say anything or item or right, anything or item or right which is owned by the business and has monetary value. So that shop had monetary value of 10 lakhs, that is asset. Okay, if business owns furniture, furniture is also an asset. Even though saris were assets, even though saris were assets because saris were also owned by the business and has monetary value. Raise your hand. What are goods? What are goods? What are goods? Divya? Unmute yourself, yeah.
The items which we buy for our use.
For not our use, business purpose.
For the business purpose.
And you don't buy for business, you buy to sell it.
Okay.
You buy to sell it. See, you buy furniture for business purpose, it is not goods. But you buy saris to sell it, saris is goods. So anything which you buy and sell again and again, anything which you trade into is called goods. The items which you trade means what? Buying and selling. So the items or the commodities in which you trade in your business, which you buy and sell again and again, those items or commodities are called as goods. Did you all understand these terms? Two more terms we will see today, but we will write only capital and drawings from that. But understanding part we will do of two more terms from that example. Then I'll take with the second chapter. Okay. So two more terms, understand it everyone. Listen carefully. Kaleen Tripathi, Shraddha Kapoor. Who are these two people? Understand it. Kaleen Tripathi, we purchased saris on credit. Means can I say that we still have to pay the money after 2 months? We still have to pay the money after 2 months. We have purchased on 2 months credit means we still have to pay the money to Kaleen after 2 months. Same way, sold saris of 4 lakhs for rupees 6 lakhs to Shraddha Kapoor. So can I say that from Shraddha Kapoor we still have to receive the money? We still have to receive the money after 2 months, after 5 months. Okay? Got it everyone? Kalin Tripathi, we still have to pay the money after 2 months. Shraddha Kapoor, we still have to receive the money after 5 months. Here, Kalin Tripathi is called creditor. Here, Kalin Tripathi is called creditor. So, who is creditor? Supplier. One word for creditor, supplier. Okay? Dev, unmute yourself, Dev Shah.
Yes, sir.
चाय पिए ना बेटा आज?
Yes, sir.
तो ये क्या हो रहा है? Yawning. What is this going on? You know who has the right to yawn? Only married men like me. Because this is the only time we get to open our mouth at house. Otherwise, in front of our wives, we cannot open our mouth. So how can we open our mouth at house? Only in the form of yawning. Otherwise, we don't get right to open our mouth at home. Only they can open the mouth. Yes, Dev, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Are you married?
No.
No, na? So henceforth, don't open your mouth for yawning. Okay? Don't steal that right from us. Right? Okay? Okay, now tell me what is the one word for creditor? Dev?
Supplier.
Supplier. Very good. All of you remember this. What is one word for creditor? Supplier. Okay? Supplier from whom we buy the goods on credit. Supplier from whom we buy the goods on credit. All this I'll make you write in the further lectures. But certain things I need to explain you before I start with second chapter. That's why I'm discussing. And who is Shraddha Kapoor? Hardik?
Debtor.
Yes, don't. Thank God you did not tell me my favorite actress. She is debtor. Okay? Hardik, B is silent. Unmute yourself. B is silent. So we will not say debitor. We'll say debtor. 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 B is silent. Simply de enter. Repeat.
Debtor.
Who is debtor? Customer. In one word, who is debtor? Customer. Customer to whom we sell goods on credit. The customer to whom we sell the goods on credit. On credit means we still have to collect the money from that customer in future. Okay? Devansh, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
One word for creditor.
Customer.
And one word for debtor. You said vice versa. Customer is debtor and supplier is creditor.
Creditor, sorry.
Okay, CD याद रहेगा. CD, ABCD, CD. CD.
Yes, sir.
CD, customer, debtor. Customer is debtor. Okay, creditor is our supplier. Did you all understand this? Anyone
Yes.
have any doubt in it? Raise your hand. So, how many terms? Capital, drawings, liability, assets, goods, debtors, creditors. 7 terms we have understood today, but we will write only 2 terms from that. Capital and drawings. And transaction also 8 terms. Raise your hand who did not understand what is transaction. Raise your hand who did not understand what is capital. Raise your hand who did not understand what is drawings. Raise your hand who did not understand what is liability. Raise your hand who did not understand what is asset. Raise your hand who did not understand what is goods. Raise your hand who did not understand what is debtor. Debtor is customer to whom we sell goods on credit. And raise your hand who did not understand who is creditor. Creditor is supplier from whom we buy the goods on credit. Let's write down the 2 terms, capital and drawings, and proceed further. Okay? But in your notebook where we have written the terms, we'll be writing just for understanding. I'm repeating this again. Be attentive. What I'm repeating? Kalin Tripathi is our creditor. He is the supplier. And Shraddha Kapoor is our debtor. She is our customer. So remember these terms what we have done today. Okay. Now all of you write down in the terms. Term number 2. Capital. Term number 2. Capital. What is capital? Any amount. Okay, one more thing. Amount we write in short form as AMP. Just keep it in mind, okay? Amount's short form is AMT, not ATM. Amount's short form is AMT. In further chapters, we will be using this short form for amount, AMT. Okay? Any amount brought, by the owner in the business is called capital. Any amount brought by the owner in the business is called capital. It may be in the form of cash or goods or assets. So anything you can bring into a business. If you bring hard cash, then that is also capital. If you bring furniture, that is also capital. If you bring commodities, that is also capital. Anything which you bring in the business from your house is called capital. This definition I'll be asking you again tomorrow, okay? Raise your hand who did not understand the meaning of capital. And one more term we write today, that is drawings. All of you write down drawings. Any amount withdrawn by the owner from the business for his personal use is called drawings. Again, it may be in the form of cash or goods or assets. Anything you can withdraw from the business. Like in our example, saris were withdrawn, they were goods. Saris of 1,80,000 were withdrawn. But what was sari? Sari was goods in the business. So you can withdraw cash also, you can withdraw goods also, or you can withdraw assets also. Raise your hand who is still writing it. Raise your hand who is still writing it carefully. 35 terms are to be understood. Okay. How many terms we have seen? Transaction, capital, drawings, liabilities, assets, goods. Then we have seen debtors and creditors. Total 8 terms we have seen and 3 we have written in the notebook. Like this, total 35 terms we have to understand and write all of them in the notebook. So what you do now, when you have written these terms, okay, when you have written these terms, so let me verify first of all. Aditi, unmute yourself. These 3 terms consumed how much part of your page?
Half a page.
Half a page means 6 terms can come in one page.
Yes.
Terms can come in one page. 35 terms means 7 to 8 pages you all leave it blank. 7 to 8 pages means sides. Don't leave 14 pages. 7 to 8 sides. 4 pages, 7 to 8 sides pages. Okay? 4 pages or 7 to 8 sides, leave blank. Whenever we come across any new term, we will write in that terms only, so that all the terms are available at one place in your notebook. And whenever you want to refer to those terms, all will be at one place. Got it, everyone? Thumbs up. How much space you will leave blank after this? 7 to 8 sides. 8 sides means 4 pages. 4 pages all of you leave blank. Whenever we come across any new term, we will write at the same place, right? Now, after leaving 7 to 8 pages blank, give the heading Chapter 2, Dual Effects of Transactions. Give the heading Chapter 2, Dual Effects of Transactions. I am also writing that heading. See that? Chapter 2, Dual Effects of Transactions. Okay, dual effects of transactions. Now in this, we will be understanding again the word transaction only in detail today, and we will take up with its practical examples. We will just understand the word transactions again in detail and take up with its practical examples. Okay? Chapter 2, Dual Effects of Transactions. Did you all give this heading? All of you? Put your pens down. Put your pens down. I don't want anyone to write. I will explain you completely. I will give you the instructions, and then I will give you 5 to 7 minutes to write everything what is there on the screen. Got it? Don't write, just understand it properly. Okay? Don't write, just understand it properly. Then I'll give you the instructions, then you start writing. Listen. Transactions. We have seen the meaning of transactions. Exchange of goods and services, for goods and services, or for money. Now there are 2 types of transactions in business. Okay, just understand the things properly. I will give you the time to write later on. There are 2 types of transactions in business. One is economic transactions. The other is non-economic transactions. One is economic transactions, the other is non-economic transactions. Now, what are economic transactions? Those transactions which can be measured in terms of money. Those transactions which can be measured in terms of money. Okay? They are called economic transactions. Now tell me, Vruta, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
How do you measure petrol?
In liters.
Very good. Rudra, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
How do you measure distance?
From centimeter.
Kilometers.
Kilometer.
Kilometers. Okay, not centimeters. Oh, कितना लंबा हो जाएगा? 1 kilometer is how many centimeters?
1 kilo.
1 kilometer is 100 meters. So imagine how many centimeters. Okay, kilometers, right? Then Mansi, unmute yourself. How do
Yes,
you
sir.
measure the weight?
Kgs.
Kgs. Very good. Then Urja, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
How do you measure the height?
In foot.
In feet or inches, or height can be also measured in centimeters. Okay. Now all of you unmute yourselves. How do you measure transactions?
In terms of money.
Money.
terms of money.
How do you measure transactions? Money. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Money.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what is this? Transactions which can be measured in terms of money are called economic transactions. Okay. Like just now, you can see this example what we had taken yesterday. If you see this examples what we had taken yesterday, everything was measured in terms of money. 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 10 lakh, 12 lakh, 8 lakh, 9 lakh, 4 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 80,000. Everything was measured in terms of money. These are called economic transactions. Okay. Now, what are non-economic transactions? Write down transactions which cannot be measured in terms of money. Transaction which cannot be measured in terms of money. Okay. Now understand this. Economic transactions, yesterday we had seen 8 transactions. Now you may be wondering what are non-economic transactions? How is it possible that any transaction takes place in business but we don't measure it in terms of money? Confusion might be arising, right? Now what did I tell you? Riya Christian, what did I tell you? In simple meaning is a transaction. What did I tell you in simple meaning is a transaction?
Exchange of goods and service.
In simple meaning, not the definition. Rushil Patel, start your video. In simple meaning. In simple. I made you write as a note also for understanding purpose, remember. What is the note we have written? Read that.
All active.
Yes. Activities of business. In simple meaning, all activities of business are called transaction. Okay. Now all of you understand, suppose I keep a meeting in a business. I keep a meeting of all the salesmen. And I give them the instructions. How will you sell the goods? How will you do the marketing? How will you do the advertising? I take a session of 30 minutes and I explain them that how will you talk to your customers? What all things will you convey to the customer? Is this an activity taking place in the business? Yes or no? Is this an activity taking place in the business? Yes means do like this, no means do like this. Yes or no? Yes, yes. Nod your heads. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Is money involved? Yes or no? Is money involved? No. This is non-economic transaction. This is non-economic transaction. Do you understand this? Got it? Now suppose Hardik, unmute yourself. Sari business he was doing.
Yes, sir.
He went to Shraddha Kapoor and purchased saris of 8 lakhs. Right?
Yes.
Now suppose you go to Shraddha Kapoor and you say that I want this particular sari. And she says it is not available. It will take some time. 10 days time to get this sari.
Yes.
What will you do?
So I will wait for it.
And what will you do?
I will give him the order that.
Yes, you give the order to get that saris in the next 10 days time. When will you pay the money?
When I will receive the order.
Means after 10 days?
Yes.
Right now you are only giving the order. Is any money involved right now?
No.
That is called non-economic transaction. This is again an activity taking place in the business. You are giving the orders or receiving the order, but money is not involved. So it is non-economic transactions. Thumbs up. Did you all understand what is non-economic transactions? Everyone? So write down. No, don't write down. Just understand it. Okay. As I said to you, that economic transactions means transactions which can be measured in terms of money. Non-economic transactions means those transactions which cannot be measured in terms of money. Now, economic transactions are further of 3 types. Okay, write down this first. All of you write down this. Then I proceed further. Write down this fast. So I repeat it once again. Everyone understand it properly. Economic transactions are of 3 types: cash, credit, and other transactions. Cash transactions means immediate receipt or payment of money is involved. There we can have 3 types of transaction: either cash against goods, or cash against assets, or cash against services. Whenever any services are involved, either you will be incurring an expense or earning an income. If we are giving the services, we will earn income and receive the money. If we are receiving the services, we are paying the expense and cash goes out. Credit transactions, payment or receipt will be done in future. Now in payment and receipt will be done in future means relationship of debtor and creditor will arise. Okay, the 2 parties which are involved, one of those party will be a customer and the other party will be a supplier. And other transactions of economic possible are like goods stolen, where neither cash is received or paid, nor it will be received or paid in future, but it is an economic transaction. Now all of you write down examples in non-economic transaction: giving or receiving, order, giving or receiving order to buy or sell goods in future. Giving or receiving order to buy or sell goods. Okay, giving or receiving orders to buy or sell goods. That is called non-economic transaction. Few more examples I gave you: conducting a meeting of your employees, inviting any business person for a social dinner, taking your employees for a movie. All these kind of transactions, okay, they are called non-economic transactions, right? Any confusions in that? Now all of you listen carefully. Illustration 1, I am only discussing orally. Don't write anything. It is going to be your homework. Okay, illustration 1 is going to be your homework. Don't write anything. I am discussing orally, and then all of you will be doing it from your textbooks on your own. What are we supposed to do in illustration 1? We have to identify, are they economic transactions or non-economic transactions. Okay, close your textbooks. It is there on the screen. Close your textbooks. When you do it in the homework, then you read in detail. Right now, close your textbooks. I want all of you to participate from the screen only, from the knowledge which I have given you. Okay, chalo, raise your hand. Assets purchased for 10,000, economic or non-economic? Dhruv?
Economic.
Economic transaction. Okay, it is an economic transaction. Reason, what will you write? Assets are purchased, so this reason. What reason will you write?
Cash against assets.
We are purchasing means will we receive the cash or pay the cash? We will pay the cash.
Pay the cash.
So cash is paid against assets. This is how you will write the reason. Thumbs up. Are you all able to understand? Thumbs up. Are you all able to understand? Okay, very good. Next. Raise your hand. Assets purchased from Radha for rupees 12,000 on credit. Vidhi P. Patel, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Is it economic or non-economic?
Economic.
And it comes in which category? Cash transaction or credit transaction?
Credit.
Credit transaction, clearly given. So what reason you will write this relationship arises? What reason will you write in this transaction? Debtor and creditor's relationship arises. Okay, debtor and creditor relationship arises. this reason will be written. Write it systematically when you are doing the homework as it is done in illustration. Right now, just understand it so that you all are able to do. Okay? Raise your hand. Assets sold for 20,000. Economic or non-economic assets sold for 20,000. Jay Patel.
Yes, sir.
Economic or non-economic?
Economic.
And in economics, is it cash or credit? Assets sold for 20,000.
Cash.
Cash transaction.
Cash.
So cash against assets or goods or services?
Yes, sir.
Is it cash against assets or goods or services?
Against goods.
Assets. Assets sold is clearly given.
Yes.
But we are selling the assets, so we will receive. Cash is received against assets is the reason we will write for economic transaction. Okay? Mute yourself. Raise your hand. Assets sold to Meera on credit. Assets sold to Meera on credit. Bhumi.
Yes, sir.
Economic, non-economic.
Economic.
And assets sold to Meera on credit, is it cash transaction or credit transaction?
Credit.
What reason will you write? Credit transaction means what reason? Debtor and creditor relationship arises. Did you understand?
Yes.
How come debtor and creditor relationship arises? You are selling means Meera is your customer, she is debtor and we are her creditor. So debtor and creditor relationship arise. Asset purchase from Radha on credit. Purchase means Radha is supplier, creditor and we are her debtor. So debtor and creditor relationship arise. Did you all understand this? Thumbs up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, these reasons this is how you to write the reasons. Okay. Next, mute yourself. Raise your hand. 8,000 paid for wages. 8,000 paid for wages. Yashvi D. Patel, unmute yourself.
Economic.
Economic. And cash or credit or other?
Cash.
In cash, cash against goods or assets or services?
Services.
Yes, wages means expense. I told you, whenever expense or income is involved against service. Cash is paid against service. And whenever there is cash paid against service, you also mention it is an expense. You also mention that it is an expense. Okay. Same way, raise your hand. 9,000 is received for rent. Divya.
So economic.
And here what reason we will write cash is?
For
Received against services. It's an income. Rent is an income. We are receiving the money, so rent is an income. Divya?
Yes, sir.
Income means we are giving the services. That's why we are receiving this income.
Rent, yes.
Okay. Now liability is settled. Liability is settled is also economic. Cash is paid. So it is cash transaction. Receivable is received, economic. Cash is received. Now what, and all of you understand this 7th and 8th? We have purchased saris from Kalin Tripathi on 2 months credit. So will we pay the money to Kalin after 2 months or not? Yes or no? Will we pay the money to Kalin after 2 months or not? Yes. After 2 months when we pay him the money, at that time will it become cash transaction or not? After 2 months when we pay him the money, will it become cash transaction or not? Yes. Okay. Same way, Shraddha Kapoor, after 5 months when we receive the money, will it become cash transaction or not? Yes. So that way in past, we would have purchased or sold anything and now we are paying or receiving it. So it becomes cash transaction. This is similar to that. Which one? This one. Liability 15,000 is settled means in past. There was a liability. Now when we pay it, it is a cash transaction. Receivable is like that Shraddha Kapoor. When we receive the money, it is a cash transaction. Okay, now raise your hand. Order is received to supply goods of 10,000. Economic or non-economic? Order is received to supply goods. Krishna Patel.
Non-economic.
Non-economic, because money is not involved. Okay, money is not involved means you'll say neither it is cash transaction nor it is credit transaction. So it's a non-economic transaction. Okay, planning to buy an asset, non-economic. You are only planning. You are only planning. We always plan. We will go to Switzerland. We always plan. We will buy big bungalow. We always plan. We will buy Mercedes, BMW. They are all khayali pulavs in our mind. Okay, money is not involved right now. सोचने में क्या जाता है? Keep on dreaming big. Okay, dreaming doesn't result into a transaction. So planning doesn't result into a transaction. They are non-economic transaction. Did you understand this? Then next, to enhance a sales for discussion, a meeting is arranged with salesman. Non-economic transaction. Only a meeting is arranged. Did you all understand this? Okay. So all are clear with what is economic and non-economic transaction? Thumbs up. Okay, last 2 more minutes. I'll not consume more time. Okay, just few more minutes. I'm unmuting few people. Lower your hands. Dhruv, unmute yourself. Sujal, unmute yourself. Khushi Patel, unmute yourself. Few important things, just understand it so that you'll be able to understand lecture 2, what you see today, okay? Video lecture 2. Those people who are unmuted, okay? Those people who are unmuted. How many hands do we have?
Two.
How many legs do we have?
Two.
How many ears?
Two.
How many eyes?
Two.
How many nose?
One.
But pores?
Two.
Okay, it's a universal law. It's a universal law. Everything is in pair. Everything is in couple. Don't think other way. Everything is in pair. Everything is in two, right? So why not transactions effects? Every transaction has two equal and opposite effects. That's why, what is the name of your chapter, those who are unmuted?
Dual effects.
Dual effects of transactions.
Dual effects of transactions. Because what happens in exchange? Exchange means what? Something comes in, something goes out. Do two effects take place or not?
Yes.
Right. So that's why every transaction will have two effects, and this system of accounting is, that's why, called as double entry bookkeeping system of accounting. What is the system of accounting? We are going to study double entry bookkeeping system of accounting. Why is it called double entry bookkeeping system of accounting? Because every transaction will have two equal and opposite effects. Did you all understand that? Okay.
Yes.
It's a universal law. Who invented this system? Luca Pacioli. L-U-C-A, Luca, not Lucca. It's a Luca, Italian mathematician. Okay, it's an Italian mathematician. L-U-C-A, Luca Pacioli, P-A-C-I-O-L-I. In 1494 AD, he invented this system of accounting. In 2000 century is going on. 21st century is going on. 1494 AD, he invented this system. And that system is prominent till now. That we are going to study in detail. What you are going to see in the video lecture, all of you have collected that extra study material of accounts from class.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All of you have collected this extra study material from the class. Worksheet is there. That worksheet you are going to study in video lecture 2 onwards. This kind of material you would have all have collected from the class. Got it? So from this, you will be starting with worksheet. This worksheet, you all can see worksheet 1, worksheet 2. All this you will be doing from today's video lecture onwards. Okay? But I am not supposed to teach you what is done in the video lecture. That's why I taught you something extra. What I have taught you today, you will not find in the video lecture. You will not find in the video lecture what is a debtor, what is a creditor. You will not find this illustration 1 in the video lecture. So what is your homework today? All of you understand. Worksheet 1 is your homework, which you will be doing from video lecture. And illustration 1 is your homework, which you will be doing from the understanding done in the class today. Worksheet 1 you will be doing from the video lecture, and illustration 1 you will be doing from the understanding done in the class today. Your doubts of worksheet 1 and some more basic concepts of worksheet 1 I will explain you tomorrow. Got it? Doubts of worksheet 1, how you used to do in statistics, you used to message me the doubts. That is what you have to do. Whatever things you don't understand, but keep it in mind, don't watch lecture 1. Don't take that risk. Chapter 2 is to be seen, not chapter 1. And in chapter 2, now today you will see lecture 2. After watching lecture 2, you will make worksheet 1. And that image you will send to the supervisor. You will solve illustration 1 in your homework notebook. That image you will send to the supervisor. Got it, everyone? Doubts of worksheet 1 and illustration 1 I will solve tomorrow in the class. Okay? Plus, I will give you some extra knowledge of twofold effects of transaction and cash and credit transaction. How to identify cash and credit transaction, that I will teach you tomorrow. Okay? So that will be all for today. Bye everyone. See you. Take care. Bye.